Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Jess. So Bitcoin has rallied over 16% in the last week, resulting in one of the most bullish weekly candle closes that we've had in over 8 months. Let's dive into the video today to talk about the recent close and what to expect from the short-term frame price action on Bitcoin and the rest of the alt market. Before we get into all that though, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to get regular Bitcoin analysis every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. If you're after more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram channel, and if you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. And I am having a Black Friday sale right now, so you can get 15 to 30% off all VIP memberships. Alrighty guys, so diving right into the weekly chart over here, as you guys can see, it has been an absolutely insane week. Bitcoin finally closed outside of our macro structure here on the weekly time frame and rallied about 17.07% at least over here on a Binance chart. We also reached a new all-time high earlier on this morning at $81,600. So the market is really hot right now. Absolutely insane price action lately, and overall returns for November are already huge. We're at 14% 11 days into the month. And the market is reflecting that. So 24-hour volume just exiting the weekend price action is up 100%, open interest up 4.6%, and 24-hour liquidations huge as well, up 130%. I think over the weekend liquidations were really crazy as well. We saw a massive amount of short liquidations and long liquidations this morning or over the last 24 hours, and over the weekend, actually a lot more volume over the last 2 days than usual. So the market's definitely picking up, things are moving, and Bitcoin is set for a high time frame target, being our measured move here of this breakout at $84,000 to $85,000, right? That is the height of our bull flag structure over here applied to the breakout point. There's a possibility that we go above 85,000. For example, what I am kind of expecting, just considering the, psychology of the market, is that we test 85,000 and then we actually end up going above it with what I'm expecting to form a bearish divergence, and then see a correction to $85,000. And then that is when we can potentially expect, upon bouncing on that level of support, a higher time frame, another higher time frame target for bullish continuation, potentially then being, the full height of our bull flag structure over here, which takes Bitcoin to around $100,000. Naturally, that is really speculative as a target right now, because we haven't even, tested the very first one. We can't watch out for the price action and the reaction to 85K. So overall, though, we have our high time frame target set. Now let's dive into the short time frame analysis segment of the video and talk about the continued bullish validations we have on the short time frame for a continued upwards move, and the opposite. So what is going to signal potential for a correction or a little bit of a pullback, and then move on to the altcoin market. Before we get into the rest of the video, guys, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, BTC. We can get 15% off all of your trading fees and up to $5,500 in sign-up rewards when you create your free account using the link down in my description box. BTC is an emerging cryptocurrency exchange committed to providing you with a secure, convenient, and highly functional trading and investment platform. Available across all countries as a non-KYC exchange, get global access to over 150 trading pairs with minimal fees on both spot and futures contracts. Join today to get $5,500 in sign-up rewards and get 15% off all of your trading fees by signing up using the link in my bio or by using the code 1GG3 when you create your account. So moving into our short time frame segment of analysis, we're starting over on the 4-hour time frame here. So while Bitcoin is currently in its, sort of period of price discovery, technical analysis is a little bit different, right? We haven't got historical levels to be looking at. There are no, we have no prior levels of resistances to clear. We're in price discovery. So while Bitcoin continues to do that, really all we can sort of gather from the price action is, what we can read from it as it happens, right? It's not so, retrospective now. And also what we can look for moving forward is, key levels of structural and horizontal support. So over here on our 4-hour time frame, we can see our weekly uptrend over here, right? The one that has characterized the exceptionally bullish week that we've had in the last, 6 to 7 days. And it starts down here at 66,900 and on Tuesday, the 5th of November, with 2 points of validation on the RSI as well. So taking a look at our uptrend right now, all we really need to know looking at this is while we're above the trend is your friend until it ends. And so the short time frame narrative here on the price action remains bullish, right? And while we're above that uptrend, we can expect bullish continuation until, you know, that measured move target at $85,000. If we fall below the uptrend, that is when the short time frame bullish narrative sort of gets a little bit invalidated, right? So in that correction, if we do fall below the trend here, first of all, potentially with leading indication from our RSI, so dropping momentum, that'll lead us to then go on to retest this next key level of support, being the prior low within that uptrend at 75,700. If we get a candle close below that wick there, at 75,700, we can expect then a further bearish continuation, dropping into a downtrend, right, as we form a lower low here on the charts, and moving into this next level of support down here, right, ranging from 72.8 to 73,600. That's also the prior all-time high, right, the one that we retested on this daily chart here when we broke above the range high for this macro structure. And also, you know, the all-time high that we achieved all the way back in March. So in terms of a correction, that's what that would look like. And that is still, to be honest, guys, quite a bullish correction. We've gone on to retest a new all-time high at 81,600 and then retested support at the prior high, and then bouncing from that, we can expect a bullish continuation, breaking above the week high here at 81.6 to then move into that measured move target of 85,000. Now, I'm not saying that that's particularly likely. Over here on the short time frame charts, momentum is still very much bullish. We're not seeing any indications here that we are going to be losing that trend line, but if we do, the overall high time frame trajectory is still very much bullish. Now, if we zoom in a little bit into our 30-minute chart here, we can see that over the last couple of days, as we've experienced increasing volatility throughout the markets, and, you know, as we rally towards these new all-time highs, Bitcoin has started to form a symmetrical broadening wedge pattern. So if you want to kind of conceptualize the price action on a short time frame using this sort of pattern structure, if we end up seeing a breakout of this upper trend line here, right, breaking through this sort of downtrend here in the RSI as well, right? So this is showing us the selling pressure that has been exhibited as we retest these high highs along this upper trend line. Breaking out of this trend line and pushing through that selling pressure, and then coincidentally also pushing through this upper trend line, will then most likely lead Bitcoin to then move to $85,000. And then opposingly, if we continue to reject from this trend line on the RSI, continue to exhibit increasing selling pressure, and fall below the lower trend line in this wedge, as well as this short time frame level of horizontal support at 78,500, we can then expect that the price will then fall below our weekly uptrend, moving into fill this volume gap here and into the next level of short time frame support at 77,200, right? 77,200 to 77,500, this next short time frame level of support. And then of course go on to retest the prior high within that uptrend. So on the short time frame, if you're looking out for immediate bullish continuation, we've got these, obviously we have the relevant trading range here, but we've also got these two key trend lines. So on the short time frame charts here, I've talked about, you know, the potential scenarios that we have here in terms of immediate bullish continuation and our bullish validations here on both the short time frame and high time frame. Now, before I move on to total 3, I do really quickly want to talk about when things start to flip into a macro bearish narrative. So what point do we start to, you know, consider that that was the end of the rally for Bitcoin? So if we take a look at the high time frame charts here, we spoke about a correction to 73,600, the prior all-time high here for Bitcoin, and, you know, that prior high within our 3-month-long uptrend here. If we break below that level there, the next move that we're going to expect on the short time frame immediately is then a move into this next region of support down here at 69,500. Now that is also when things start to become very, very critical for Bitcoin, because we then move on to retest the, I guess, the horizontal level of support that coincides with the upper level of our macro structure over here. If we fall below that level of support, we move on to $66,000, which is when we fall back into our macro structure. And that is when things start to look genuinely quite bearish again, because we've entered back into these sort of lower levels, right? And can then expect, a higher time frame bearish continuation, particularly with daily and weekly candle closes within that structure, to then continue on to, retest these prior high time frame levels of significance, being the midline and the range low over here, as well as $49,000. So that is when the narrative really does flip from being high time frame bullish to bearish, and really that does begin with the loss of 73,600, which is a huge level of support, and $69,000. So moving over onto the rest of the cryptocurrency market, let's take a look at Total 3. So Total 3, we had a 3-day candle close just this morning, as well as our weekly candle close, and it was exceptionally bullish. So if we take a look at what's been happening in Total 3, we can see that altcoins have been kind of lagging in comparison to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's closed above this level here. We're already in price discovery, but altcoins were still kind of retesting the levels of resistance exhibited by the downtrend within that last, 6 to 8 month period. So after breaking above this horizontal resistance region here at 662 billion, we ended up forming an exceptionally bullish weekly candle close that shot right past these prior highs here in that downtrend. So not only did we surpass the closes themselves, but also the wicks as well, suggesting that now, in terms of the high time frame, the altcoin market is headed towards $789 billion, right? This week high in, this sort of range of price action. And then following that, we can expect then moves towards higher time frame targets, such as 836 billion, right? First of all, with a weekly candle close within, let me go back. If we get a weekly candle close within this sort of range here, we can then expect a continuation to retest the range high of that sort of liquidity pocket. And then moving beyond that, we have the all-time high for the altcoin market cap at, over 1 trillion. So things are looking really, really bullish here. If we take a look at Bitcoin dominance, we are still waiting for that drop below the trend line here and the first segment of the pullback. But generally, we are looking to see, I think personally, I'm looking to see how Bitcoin reacts to 85,000. If we see a pullback here from Bitcoin at 85,000, then potentially that is when we start to see that very first exhibit of strength from altcoins in comparison to Bitcoin, and the first shift in Bitcoin dominance here to move downwards into this sort of 55% region. And then after Bitcoin continues to rally and altcoins pick up as well, moving into these lower regions as well. So we're still looking really, really early, but Total 3 is starting to look very, very strong, guys. If we're looking at high time frame invalidations, the key level that you're going to be looking for is this one over here. 662 billion. If we see the altcoin market drop back below this region of resistance and we begin to once again consolidate within that sort of chop zone ranging all the way down to 515, that's probably when we've seen a larger shift in the narrative for altcoins, once again flipping back to bearish. But while we remain above this level and we continue to clear these prior highs here within that downtrend, things are looking very, very bullish on the high time frame. Alrighty guys, that is all the analysis that I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're after even more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram for daily updates as well as crypto and economic news. And if you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. And if you are a trader, don't forget to sign up down below to BitUnext to get 15% off all of your trading fees. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!